In our last segment, we learned about the preparation that goes into paving a new asphalt driveway, and we saw how a recycled base material was used in the process. Our prep foreman from DRS Paving explained why a new driveway needs to drain properly and how that's accomplished during the preparation phase of the project. Now let's meet up with our job site foreman, Josh Strassman, to learn more about the paving process in a new asphalt driveway.
This is a 1750C Malden paver. It goes anywhere from 8 feet at its narrowest all the way out to 16 feet at its widest.
Wow, that's interesting. So you can do different widths. I was thinking, or under the impression that maybe it was 8 or 10 feet, but that's nice. You can get 15, 16 feet wide.
Yeah, in a perfect world, every driveway would be 10 feet wide, and you could just buy one paver. But buying a paver that has versatility, being able to go from 8 to 16 if you need to, helps with layout and look and fit and finish of a job when you're all said and done with it.
Okay, so what is your role in this process?
My role is to make everything run smoothly and get it done correctly. Anywhere from, setting up the job in the office before I even leave, do anything, I have to make sure I have the right equipment on the job, the right personnel on the job. I have to make sure I have the material coming at an even rate and showing up on the job when I need it, so I don't have, the street completely blocked up and I can go smooth when I start a job. The key is to constantly move at a pace. If you go really fast and slow down, then your asphalt's going to look differently in different spots, and it's not going to turn out to be as nice of a job as if you were moving at one constant pace the entire time.
Boy, that's the voice of experience right there. Earlier Dave was saying he was the job prep foreman. It sounds like you're the job site foreman.
Yeah, I work with Dave all the time on stuff, and he needs to know what my capabilities are when he's setting up the prep, because he needs to know what my paver can do, what my rollers can do, what they can't do. And then when I show up here, I have to double check. I get to check to make sure that he did everything correctly, that all the base work is done properly, that my drainage is going where it's supposed to, and that I can make the driveway acceptable to myself and the homeowner and functional, so it's going to last 20, 25 years.
Sounds like you're the last line of defense, and experience is the key there. Now, what are we going to be looking for when we're paving here? One thing I noticed is when you first arrived on site, you went and marked a bunch of different areas.
First of all, a homeowner is going to look at straight lines. Most of the time they want to see either straight lines or long, steady curves. In this situation, I have very straight lines everywhere. I have straight poles, and the biggest thing that's going to make a difference on this job will be joints. Because it is a fairly straightforward lot, the one area that's going to look rough if I don't time myself and pace myself correctly will be my joints. And you'll see once I get going that as I'm pulling these mats out, I'm keeping a very steady pace. I'm getting those joints at the same temperature every time, so when your asphalt is compacted, it's all compacted at the same rate.
And you'll probably get better longevity there as well?
Exactly.
Why don't we let you get on the machine, show us how the paving's done. I'll catch up with you a little later.
All right, great.
Well, Josh, I got to hand it to you. You and your crew really laid this down quickly, made short work of the project.
Well, this is a pretty good scenario for wide open paving, but as I mentioned before, it is very important to move right along as you're paving. It allows you to get all your seams hot, blend together, and compacted together, and make the job look good as well.
Well, I got to believe experience of the crew really comes into play as well. As I watched, it looked like everything was choreographed.
Yeah, everyone knows their role. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Very few times you even need to talk on a crew because if they work together for a long enough time, they know where they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to do, and what things are supposed to look like.
Well, you know, as we're walking around on it, not only does it look fantastic, it feels a little spongy, almost a little soft throughout, a nice even feel to it. But is that mix that you guys were talking about earlier?
Part of it is it's still a little warm. The rubberized in general will feel a little bit more spongy when it's still warm. Once it hardens up, you won't be able to really tell the difference, except for on hot days. It will stay a little bit more flexible, and over time it will also stay a little bit more flexible, which allows it to resist cracking.
So there are some big advantages to having that rubber and the fiber in the mix.
Yeah, the rubber adds a little bit of flexibility, and the fiber will also add some strength to it by binding that material together.
Well, it really makes sense to me. That's another factor a homeowner should consider. Make sure you get an experienced contractor, and an experienced contractor that has the right mixes for your application.
Exactly.
Stick around. We'll look at a unique color texturing process and learn about asphalt maintenance next.